going into this film, I was actually looking forward to seeing this film because I'm not one of these people who, whenever there's a new sequel or a new part of a franchise, I'm not like jumping on the bandwagon of, oh, this is going to be awful, the film looks terrible, blah blah blah. I'm not like that. I like looking forward to films. So when I heard details about this film coming out, like it was going to be kind of a recreation of the first one, I was like, yeah, sounds awesome, let's do this. Then, as I predicted, the reviews started coming out and it was getting trashed by all the critics, and even some people on YouTube are all like, nah, this film's bad or whatever. But I was not going to let that stop me from looking forward to seeing this film. Now that I've seen the film, I can say it was okay. I mean, it was nothing particularly special, but it wasn't terribly awful like everyone's saying it is. Let's start out with the performances. First off, I think the two best performances in this film were Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jason Clarke. I thought that them two did the best jobs of the film. Now on to Jai Courtney. This is the first film I've ever seen Jai Courtney in. I've not seen Die Hard 5 or Divergent and all them films where people say he's just an awful actor or whatever. So this was my first Jai Courtney experience, as in the first film I've seen him in. And I can see why people say he's not that great of an actor, because in this film he was just so bland and he offered like zero emotion or anything into his performance. He was just so stoic and he was just so like, Sarah, there's a Terminator. And it's like that, it just offers no real commitment to his role, or what he didn't from what I could see on the screen anyway. It was just so bland. That's like I said, he was bland. Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor. Now, I didn't think she was terrible in the film, but I just felt her performance was very uninspired. Like, if you think of Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2, she was hardcore, she was crazy, and she would just not stop. She was so relentless at getting information and all this stuff and trying to teach everyone about the future and all that stuff. Emilia Clarke, on this hand, she was not really any of that stuff. She was not relentless, she was not hardcore. She could shoot a gun. That's it. She could shoot a gun. She was nothing like Linda Hamilton was in Terminator 2. So Emilia Clarke, not terrible, but not really inspiring. Now, there were things I did like about this film. For one, the action scenes, where there was any. I thought they were pretty decent in this film. I was entertained during the action when it was on the screen. Plus, I also really liked the parts where they recreated scenes from Terminator 1, like when the original Terminator lands in 1984. It's like the same truck and like the same kind of guy driving the truck going, what the hell? Same camera angles, same facial expressions from Arnold. And I just like those recreations of scenes. I thought they were really well done. Getting into some of the negatives I have, I'd say the biggest negative I have with Terminator Genisys is probably the middle part of the film. It starts getting very complicated in the middle part of this film. Like, there's so much exposition and there's just so much information that is just thrown at you, and all about alternate timelines and all this in this terminology about time travel and alternate timelines and everything that pretty much Doc Brown would understand. But you're just like, what? In English, please? I mean, even Jai Courtney says to Arnold, like, Can you stop talking like that? Then you have the special effects. There was a lot of special effects in CGI in this film. Some of it looked okay, some of it looked meh, some of it looked good, etc. And they do rely on CGI quite a bit during this film, specifically like the car chases and all that stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of CGI. Some of it's good, some of it's meh, some of it's okay. Paramount want to make this a trilogy, but the end of this film, to me, it didn't seem like it set up for a sequel per se. I mean, it does have that cliched Terminator ending where someone has to say one of two lines, and the ending line in Terminator's film is always either the battle has just begun or the future is not set. I'm not going to tell you which one, but one of those two is the last line in this film, and I was just like, classic Terminator ending phrase. This film has a lot of humour in it as well, and like deliberately going for humour. Like, they did that moment so they could get a laugh or a chuckle out of the audience. Sometimes it's like, yeah, that's alright, but most of the times it just falls flat and just like, why are they trying to be funny in this film? It's just a film that's not supposed to be funny. I mean, Terminator 2 had funny moments, but they were unintentionally funny. Like when Arnold's like, hasta la vista, baby. Like, it wasn't going for laughs, but this film, it was going for laughs, and 80% of the time, it just fell flat for me. But I'm not trying to sound negative all the time. I didn't mind this film. I thought it was an okay film. There was some good action, okay performances from Arnold and Jason Clarke, and the rest of it's just, yeah, exposition in the middle. It was all convoluted and hard to follow, and Jai Courtney and Emilia Clarke were the weakest parts of the acting, and yeah, the CGI, some of it's okay, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it as much as everybody else did. In fact, I'm going to give Terminator Genisys a 3 out of 5. So have you seen Terminator Genisys? What are your thoughts about it? And I know everyone's going to be like, oh, I hate the film, whatever. If you hate the film, like, genuinely don't like the film, that is fine. comment, let me know. And if you like this stuff and want to see more of my stuff, be sure to subscribe because I got stuff coming to you guys all the time.